And we are live. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stonadge channel. And a new show here on the channel is called Premfaces, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a Premier League preview of the weekend, but we wanted to give it a nice, fun name. And it's good to see Bottle already here in the chat as well. We've got plenty of stuff to go through today. We're going to be previewing every single Premier League game, and we'll see what everyone thinks of it, what's going to happen just this weekend, really. And we're going to be doing this pretty much every weekend that there isn't a football match on a Friday. So yeah, it'll either be out in stream form or video form. I've gone for stream today. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Good to see everyone in here already. I'm really excited for this stream, baby. Hello, Elias. How are we? How are we? Good to see you, mate. And David in the chat as well. With plenty to go through. We've got so much. We've got all of the Premier League fixtures. We're going to go through in depth every single Premier League game. So make sure to share the stream around, get people in, and we will get cracking. Sort of about 5 minutes into the stream, just because I want to give people a chance to arrive in as well. It'll be mostly talking, a lot of focus, of course, on Liverpool. I mean, that's how it's going to happen, isn't it? Realistically, and I'm a Liverpool fan. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Oh, thank you, Elias. I appreciate that, mate. I wouldn't quite go that far. I wouldn't quite give myself that tag at all. I'll give myself content creator vibes would be my choice. Hello, Tottenham TGR. Lucas is in the chat. How are we? We're going to be talking about Tottenham later on as well. Of course, first of all, we will be speaking about Liverpool as it's the first game in the chat. Hello, Alex, as well. You're there with him as well. Good to see you. And yeah, it's going to be a really good stream, guys. Also, as you can see, ticking along with the clock below me, the Football Manager series. It's on its way, baby. I've recorded the first episode. I'm getting it edited currently, so it should be with you tomorrow. Obviously, I won't be doing any live streams this weekend, but I'm planning to do lots more live streams like this and try and stream every single day if I can. If I can't, then there will be a pre-recorded video with you. That's my my mantra to everyone here, and that's why I want to get things going and get things ready to rumble. And yeah, we're going to be talking all things Premier League, loads of interaction, loads of chatting. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll get going into sort of the start of the preview in a bit, but we're going to go through all of the Premier League weekend fixtures, of course. But first of all, we're going to go through the sort of lesser fixtures, because that's the way we want to do it, right? We want to build up to the really important ones, and we'll start first of all at St James's Park. So we're going to go in reverse order here. Newcastle against Wolverhampton Wanderers. So I want to get everyone's thoughts on that game in the thing below. I'm not streaming Liverpool Bournemouth, no ball. I'm away tomorrow and Sunday, so unfortunately I will not be streaming Liverpool or Bournemouth. But the first game we're going to be talking about is Newcastle against Wolverhampton Wanderers, which is a very a massive game, especially for the hosts. So make sure you prep your score predictions, prep what you want to be talking about for Newcastle against Wolverhampton Wanderers. First of all, as well, though, I want to address something pretty quickly, because it's probably the biggest news story in the UK at the moment. Gary Lineker has been taken off match of the day due to his tweets about the conservative immigration policy. Now, I don't like to delve too much into politics on here, but I would like to say that I firmly stand with Gary Lineker and everyone who's been affected by this. I feel like this policy is absolutely dreadful. It is very discriminatory, and at the end of the day, what Gary Lineker has said has been proven right by what the action of the BBC and of the British government has been towards this. The fact that his situation is the biggest story in the UK at the moment is indicative of a very common strategy of the regime that he referenced. It's deflection. And it's genuinely frightening that we're living in a world today where people are being silenced for their views It's ridiculous, and I am frightened for the future, if I'm being honest with you. I genuinely am. So that's my start and my little rant over. And you're all here for the football. We're all here to preview the Premier League. So Newcastle United against Wolverhampton Wanderers. So let's get a little bit of a preview for this one. So just a few little tidbits of stats. So Newcastle's 1-0 win in this fixture last season ended a run of 5 home league games without a win against Wolves. They hadn't beaten them at home before last year's win, for over 40 years. It's an absolutely crazy run. But they've only conceded once, Wolves, that was the only goal they've ever conceded. They've conceded in every single game against Newcastle, but only one. So this makes me think it's going to be a really, really tight game. And Julen Lopetegui has got these players playing exceptionally well. I'm really excited to see the future of Wolverhampton Wanderers and how they're going to go under Julen Lopetegui. But Bowler's put in a 1-1 draw there. I'm thinking along similar lines with that prediction. I'm genuinely I believe seriously the Wolves have got a great future ahead of them under Lopetegui. But of course, and of course, Eddie Howe's Newcastle are faltering. From a Liverpool perspective, I'd love a W for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Let's not get this clear. But I think it's going to be a draw, and I'm going to go for 1-1, and hopefully I'm right. I'm going to make a note of these, by the way. Let me make a note of these, and see how many I get right in a review next week. But yeah, we've got 1-1 in that game. And I don't think I'll be too far off that one. But what do you guys think? Let me know your predictions for Newcastle v Wolves on Sunday in the comments below. I'm going to go 1-1 for that one. We're also, next season, going to have a predictions league, by the way. We're going to get an FPL predictions and everything here on the Stonadge channel. But we're going to go for 1-1 between Newcastle United and Wolverhampton Wanderers. How do you guys think that game will go? What are we all thinking? I think there's going to be a goal early on from Wolves, and Newcastle will level it. But the way that the two teams have been playing, you wouldn't be surprised to see a point shared, because realistically, Newcastle's run of form has been abhorrently bad. Talking of runs of form that have been pretty bad, Fulham have certainly fallen off a cliff a little bit, despite their still lofty league position of 7th. It's a little bit of a false premise, because they played 3 more games than Brighton, who are 1 place behind them, and 2 more games more than Brentford, 1 more than Chelsea, 1 more than Villa, who are all in pretty much touching distance of the Whites. They've also played 2 more than Newcastle and 1 more than Liverpool, who sit above them, and the same as Tottenham Hotspur. So it's all a bit of a false premise for Fulham. They've been on a pretty poor run, to be honest with you, in the league. Despite their wins over Fulham, over Forest and Brighton, their last 2 games have been a draw against Wolves and a 3-2 defeat to Brentford, which they did play quite well in. But there is a man in genuine form there for Fulham, and it's Manor Solomon. He scored in every one of his last 6 outings for Fulham. He's a real top talent. Of course, signing from Shakhtar the next season, Israeli international, and he's someone to genuinely watch out for Fulham. And they play Arsenal. Now, Arsenal. They can't seem to... They've got this winning touch at the moment, which I think is just... It's unbelievable how they continue to win games, even from completely improbable situations. Obviously, drew with Sporting yesterday after that own goal from Hidemasa Morita. But realistically, they are going to come into this game as big favourites. And it wouldn't surprise me if they ran out 2 or 3-0 winners here. Fulham haven't won against Arsenal in the Premier League since 2012. They lost all 4 against the Gunners at Craven Cottage since then. They've also won Arsenal have won 71% of their Premier League games against Fulham, which is their highest win rate against an opponent they faced 20 or more times in the competition. So they've won 22 games out of 31 against Fulham. It's a pretty easy side for Arsenal to take on in their history anyway. They've usually beaten Fulham overall consistently. I think they will do once more, genuinely. I can't see it, guys. Can any of you see a Fulham victory in this one? They've also all won all 4 of their away Premier League London derbies this season by an average score of 8-0. No side has ever won 5 consecutive away London derbies while keeping a clean sheet every time. So Arsenal have the opportunity to do this, and I think they can do. I'm going to go with a 2-0 Arsenal victory. What's everyone's predictions for Fulham versus Arsenal? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, we're going in reverse order for this weekend's fixture, so we will be finishing with the big one on this channel, Bournemouth v Liverpool. So make sure to stay tuned for that one. Hit the subscribe button and all that good stuff. Hey, little Maddie, how we doing? 2-2 says Ball. 1-1 says Tottenham TJR. 4-0 says David O'Connor. Aaron's here as well. A tight 3-2 win for Arsenal. Fulham are a class side. That's fair enough. Camping with Cows is 4-1 to Liverpool. We'll get to Fulham. To Liverpool. Excuse me. We'll get to Liverpool later on. Lil Matty said 3-1 to Arsenal as well. Excuse me, I've got a running nose for some reason. So we're going to go on to our next Premier League fixture then. As we're going in reverse order, of course. We're going to go to an earlier kickoff on Sunday, and that's West Ham against Aston Villa. Now, West Ham got a 2-0 win in the week against AEK Larnaca, where they didn't perform particularly well. But Antonio scored 2 goals, which is a really good news for West Ham to get some genuine form going into the Premier League. Skamaka obviously has had his fitness issues and confidence issues, but I feel genuinely I can't see him getting into this West Ham side anytime soon. Antonio's got into a bit more of goal scoring form. I hope genuinely hope that Skamaka can get some form, because I think he's an Italian international. His form for Sassuolo last season was brilliant. And to continue getting into the Italian side would be it's just a bit of an embarrassment to be stuck on the bench at West Ham United behind an older player in Antonio, but he just can't get in front of him at the moment. Aston Villa, on the other hand, and talking of strikers, Danny Ings is another one at the club, signed for 20 million from Aston Villa. I'm feeling a Danny Ings goal. It's got to happen. It's almost destined and written in the stars for Danny Ings to be scoring in this football match. Aston Villa have been on a very good run themselves, though. They under Unai Emery, they've really turned it around. Of course, that defeat to Arsenal and against Man City aside, they have won against Crystal Palace at home, Everton away, Leeds at home, Southampton away, drew with Wolves at home, and then beat Spurs away, which was the first game we actually watched live on this channel. So they've had a really, really good 2023 so far. Of course, they did lose to Stevenage in the FA Cup, which was a pretty big embarrassment. But travelling to the London Stadium, they sit in 11th place, and they could go all the way. They could go above Chelsea if they do win and Chelsea drop points. Ollie Watkins is in the form of his life for Aston Villa. I feel like I'm going to predict an Aston Villa win. I'm going to go 2-1 to Unai Emery's side. But what do you guys think in the comments below? What do we think? Hey, Corey, good to see you in the chat, my friend. How are we? And Granny Dwarf is in the chat as well. But we are going to be streaming. Whenever we're not doing a watch-along, guys, I'll be streaming at 7:30. So I'm going to try and make that a consistent thing, that we're streaming at 7:30 all the time, just so you guys can get used to it and always come home and know that either from work or from school, you can watch a Stonadge stream at 7:30, and then go on to any other streams you want to in the evening as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. But we're going to keep doing these series. We're going to do more final verdicts. I just need some more topics to talk about because I love those. And yeah, we're also doing Football Manager as well. Piers Morgan, my man, just go in timeout, my man. 2-1 Villa says Tottenham TJR. 1-0 Villa says Ball. 2-2 says Dave. 2-2 says Lil Matty. I think Villa will nick it, lads. I'm gonna go with a 2-1 win for Villa. So I'm gonna go West Ham United 1-2 Aston Villa. So now on to Manchester United. So we've got Bruno Fernandes in our little graphic as our thumbnail. They're at home to Southampton. Now, of course, we beat them 7-0, which was amazing. It was absolutely unbelievable. I'm buzzing. I'm really, 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 really happy. I'm very, 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 very happy that happened. I'm just going. Did we win 7-0? I'm hugely buzzing about it. But they did come back and bounce back and beat Betis yesterday by 4-1. They are still a very, very, very potent outfit, despite that 7-0 defeat. Did I mention we beat them 7-0, by the way? But Southampton are, to be honest, I think this could be almost a reverse of that 7-0. Man United are unbeaten in their last 6 against Southampton at Old Trafford, but they drew 1-1 against Southampton last season, and they're winless in their last 14 meetings with Manchester United. United have also won 36 points from losing positions in the Premier League games against Southampton, but they haven't lost consecutive league games, Man United, since May to August last year, which is 4 in a row. Their 7 goals conceded in that defeat were just 1 fewer than the 10 previous games. So in that 7-0 defeat, did I mention we beat them 7-0? That was almost as many goals as they conceded in the last 10 games. So United are still defensively sound. But Southampton are in a little bit of a good run, aren't they? 2 wins under Ruben Selles, 2 1-0 wins against Chelsea and then Leicester. So they are fighting, and they're now off the bottom of the Premier League into 19th position. They're only 1 point off safety. The relegation battle is amazing, man. It is genuinely unbelievable. Any team, even up to the likes of Wolves and Crystal Palace, can be involved, I think, because they're only 6 points clear of the relegation zone. I can't see Southampton personally getting anything out of this one whatsoever. I think it could be 5 or 6 to Man United. I'm not going to say 7 though, because only good teams score 7, right? I'm going to go 4 or 5. Should I say 4 or 5? Hello, Robbie. How are we? Please try and settle into a cycle rhythm with your contract. I know, honestly, mate, I can't settle into a cycle or a rhythm because life is so busy. But I won't be streaming in the next 2 days, but there will be videos, so don't worry. There will be always daily doses of Stonadge now. That's what I've found. Thank you, Lil Matty, I appreciate that. 3-0 United, 2-1 Saints, says Ball, 7-0. 5-1 United, need a response to the Prem. 7 hard, won't want anything less than 4 again. I'm going to go 5-0 United. I think it's going to be an absolute battering at Old Trafford. But if Southampton can, Betis and Leeds and Leicester have all, provided stern opposition in certain moments, especially at the start of the games. But in the second halves, United have blown them away. And it's the same with Betis yesterday. United looked a completely different side in that second half, and it's a real disappointment that Betis didn't get anything out of that game. So I am going to go Manchester United 5, Southampton 0. Crystal Palace against Manchester City. Now, Crystal Palace have actually got a pretty good record against Manchester City in recent years. Of course, that famous 2-1 win back in 2018, I believe, when Andros Townsend scored that absolute rocket of a finish. But they are actually winless in their last 7 Premier League home games against City, drawing 2 and losing 5, including a draw last season, since a 2-1 win in April 2015. Each of Man City's last 9 goals against Crystal Palace in the Premier League have come in the second half, with Man City actually failing to score in the opening 45 minutes of their last 4 against Crystal Palace. Palace are also winless in 2023, drawing 5 and losing 4, which is the longest ongoing run amongst any side in the Premier League. But no side actually has fewer points in the Premier League than Crystal Palace this 2023. I think it's going to be a real battering here for City. I can't, although Palace have a fantastic home crowd. I love Selhurst Park. I think it's going to be a real cruise control job for Manchester City. I'm going to go 3-0, and they will. I think it's going to be a Rodri masterclass, lads. To be honest, a genuine Rodri masterclass. Maxwell, City easy win. 1-0 Palace, says Corin. 4-0 City, says David. 2-1 says Bongman Brian. 2-1 says Simon. I think it's going to be a real easy W, because Crystal Palace are bad, lads. And that defeat could genuinely put them in the fight for relegation. Patrick Vieira's job, I mean, if they finish 12th this year, fine, but the football was meant to be more expansive. They obviously had a very good season last season. This year has been an off year, and I think they genuinely need a little bit of a reshuffle. Maybe whether that's Vieira or whether that's a squad, I'm not too sure. But I think a W for City, it's going to be pretty easy. Palace are genuinely in the relegation mix, 100%, Robbie. There's no debate on that one. They're only, I think, 6 points clear of bottom. So yeah, I'm really, really happy about this. I'm buzzing. That this relegation battle is going to actually provide something this year. It's going to be so enthralling, I believe, come May. And to be honest, I think it's going to be a final day thing, especially if it carries on as it is. So I'm going to go Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 3. Tottenham against Nottingham Forest. Now then. Their first, obviously, Nottingham Forest's first game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's going to be a massive one. Hello, Amarali. Good to see you as well. It's a massive game for Forest as well, who are still in that relegation mix themselves. But Nottingham Forest have actually won the 3 of their last 4 away league games against Tottenham. However, this is their first game against Tottenham in about 25 years. So I think it's probably fair enough to say that stat is absolutely meaningless. But Tottenham have won their 28 of their last 31 home league games against promoted sides, with their only defeat coming against Wolves at Wembley back in 2018. Forest have also lost 8 of their last 10 Premier League games in London, with their only win coming in that run against Wimbledon back in 1999. They haven't won at all this season, losing 11-0 in London over 3 games. And Tottenham have won each of their last 3 Premier League home games, all without conceding. Spurs last won 4 Premier League home games whilst keeping a clean sheet for the last time in March 2018 when they played at Wembley under Poch. So I'm feeling that this will be a little bit of a challenge for Spurs, but I think they will come through, as they have done many a time in the Premier League and gut results. Again, from a Liverpool perspective, I think I'd love a Nottingham Forest win. Lil Matty said 2-0 Forest. Corin says 2-1. Tottenham TJ says 3-1 Spurs. Of course he would, mate. 2-2 says David. 2-1 Spurs. 3-0 Post Milan bounce, says Robbie. I think I'm going for a 1-0 Tottenham win, and it's going to be that man, as it always is, Mr. Harry Kane. There's no debate on that one. I'm going to go 1-0 Spurs. I just think they are failing to really excel in games, but I think Tottenham genuinely can just squeeze past Steve Cooper's men this time, and away from home, as Robbie has mentioned, Nottingham Forest are a little bit stinky, as Robbie says. They were absolutely awful in the Champions League in midweek as well. So Spurs 5-0, Dejan Kulusevski all assists. One thing I will say, Kulusevski has had a stinker of a season, lads, and it won't be talked about. Kulusevski has whiffed. I know he's had injuries. He's had genuine injuries, and that's fine, but he's still not contributed when he's been fit. It's been a disappointing season, and Luis Diaz is still astronomically clear. Any Tottenham fans who anyone had to compare those two. Another 3 o'clock kickoff tomorrow with 4 games remaining. Leicester against Chelsea. So Leicester have actually won only one of their last 6 home league games against Chelsea, winning 2-0 in 2021. But Chelsea are looking to complete their first league double over Leicester since the season after Leicester won the league, 2016-17, after they beat them 2-1 in August. So from that adverse record, I think Chelsea will potentially get somewhat of a result this season against Leicester. Chelsea's Premier League games they've scored 24 and conceded 25, with the games seeing fewer goals than any other side this season. Only 49 goals in the side's games. So that is absolutely crazy, really. Only 49 goals across Chelsea's 25 games. That's an average of less than 2 goals per game. That is actually crazy if you think about it. Like, both sides, I mean, only scoring 2 goals between them. That is actually mental. Think about that, lads. Think about it. Also, just to let you guys know, as I said earlier, I will be trying to stream. Whenever I stream, it'll be at 7:30 when it's not a watch-along, guys, just to get a little bit of consistency. I won't be streaming this weekend, but I will be bringing you pre-recorded content and also a new start of a Football Manager series, lads. So it's all going to be fun. It's all going to be great, and I'm looking forward to it. Leicester won, Chelsea won. Leicester to bring reality to Chelsea. 2-0 says Simon. 2-1 says David. 2-0 Leicester says Bol. Leicester have been on an awful run themselves. Let's not forget that. They've really been dragged back into the relegation fight since beating Spurs 4-1. They've lost all 4 games in all competitions against Man United, Arsenal, Blackburn Rovers, and then Southampton. A win tomorrow, at 3 p.m. would certainly help their hopes of getting away from the relegation zone, but they are still very much in the thick of it, back in 15th position, only 2 points clear of it after seemingly pulling themselves away. Chelsea themselves have to try and haul themselves back up towards the European places after winning their first game in a long, long while against Leeds and putting in a fantastic performance to beat Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, coming from behind to win 3-2 on aggregate, to win 2-1 on aggregate, and it's a big one for Chelsea and Graham Potter, this one. If they can get through it, I think they'll look to go up the table at least. So I'm gonna go 1-1. What do you guys think in the chat? I'm gonna go Leicester 1, Chelsea 1. I won't be streaming Bournemouth, no. I'm away this weekend celebrating my girlfriend's birthday. Because I'm a very good person. I'm a very good person, lads. Alright. Leicester are just strange, can turn from world beaters or crap from match to match. I won't be missing the game. I'll be watching it, but I've got to celebrate my girlfriend's birthday with her, so it's got to be done. Hello Chris, how are we, mate? Good to see you in the chat. So yeah, unlike many YouTubers, I will be prioritizing my personal life first. It's got to be done. The girlfriend can't wait. I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. I've got to go and do what's right. I'm surprising her this weekend. So I haven't actually told her. I hope she's not in the chat. I haven't told her that I'm actually going to go up to see her. What do I think about PSG v Bayern? That was a pretty dull game, to be honest with you. But Bayern just consummately went through. But anyway, I've got to go with Leicester 1, Chelsea 1. I think it's going to be a point shared, which probably isn't a great result for either side, to be honest. Maybe a better result for Leicester than it is. So yeah, I hope it's her birthday on Wednesday, but her family are celebrating, and I have to go up, and I want to do that. Anyway, moving forward, let's go into our next fixture. We've got 3 more to preview, and we're going to be spending a lot of time previewing Bournemouth v Liverpool. So Everton v Brentford, at the bottom of the league. Everton realistically are in desperate need of a victory. They sit in 18th position on 22 points. They're only in the relegation zone on goal difference, but they've played a game more than Southampton, Bournemouth, and Leeds, and West Ham, and Leicester, and Forest. So they are in desperate need of a win. And Brentford at home, they've got a team that haven't lost in the league since November. Yes, they are draw specialists, drawing 11 of their 24 games this season. But realistically, they showed in the West London derby against Fulham the other night that they have got a killer instinct, and they did win by 3-2. But Everton lost to this exact fixture 3-2 last season. They've never lost back-to-back home games against Brentford before in their history, but Brentford are unbeaten in 3 Premier League games against Everton, picking up more points in the competition only against West Ham than against the Toffees. But London clubs have lost their last 3 Premier League games against Everton since Chelsea won 1-0 on the opening weekend. Indeed, 3 of Everton's 4 home wins this season have come against London sides. So West Ham, Crystal Palace, and Arsenal. All 4 of Everton's wins in the Premier League this season have seen them keep a clean sheet, but they have lost 7 of their 8 games at Goodison Park when conceding. So they've only actually won any games at Goodison Park when a team has conceded once. I think it's going to be a real W for I think it's going to be a dub for Brentford, to be honest. It's Brentford away from home. I think they've got too much for Everton, if I'm being honest. Too much quality in that front line. With Brentford unbeaten in their last 5 Premier League games away from home, by the way. They've only ever had a longer run without defeat in their history on the road in the top flight, going 9 games unbeaten in 1936. So this is a huge game for Everton, but I don't see them getting anything out of it. I'm going to go with a 2-1 2-0 win for Brentford, and that will really put Everton in the mire, because I think Brentford have far too much quality for this side. They really, really do. And being fair and honest, Sean Dyche has an okay start at Everton, but realistically, they are still in deep trouble. And I think they'll go down. The way they're looking at the moment, there's going to have to be a real change in mentality. They're going to have to win. And I definitely can't see them scoring 4 goals, Bol, and I can't see them scoring 2, really, Aaron. But yeah, I'm gonna go 2-0 to Brentford. That's my genuine thoughts, not non-biased at all. Yeah, we'll move to Leeds against Brighton before we get straight into Liverpool v Bournemouth, which is of course our feature of the show. So Leeds against Brighton. Leeds absolutely have to win this game again, and Brighton do as well if they want to keep their European hopes in the great contention that is. Leeds have only actually beaten Brighton once in their last 12 games in both the Championship and the Premier League. They've only scored 4 goals in those 12 games, failing to score at all on 9 occasions. They've drawn 2 games and lost 9 of their last 12 against Brighton. They're unbeaten in all 5 of their Premier League meetings with Leeds. Brighton keeping 4 clean sheets and conceding just 1 goal. Brighton have actually scored 43 Premier League goals this season, the highest tally already in a single campaign in the competition. Their goals scored has risen in each of their last 5 seasons, becoming the first team to see an increase in scored in 5 straight top flight seasons since Manchester United between 1989 and 94. So this team, Brighton, are an epitome of improvement, and I think they will continue their improvement by thrashing Leeds United this time out. Brighton, of course, defeated West Ham by 4-0 at home last time out in the Premier League, also beat Stoke away from home. They had their fixture with Newcastle postponed because of that Carabao Cup final. They also lost out to Fulham before that, drew with Palace, and beat Bournemouth and then Liverpool before that. So they're a great side to watch, Brighton and Hove Albion. They really are, and I just think that they'll easily come through and defeat Leeds United here. I'm probably going to go for a 2-0 win. But what are your guys' thoughts? 2-2 says David, 3-1 Brighton says Amirali, 2-1 Leeds says Ball, 3-0 Brighton says Simon, 2-1 Leeds says hi, I'm Aaron. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be anything here. And Gumi says 3-0 Brighton. Good to see you in the chat, mate. How are we? Hello Terence, how are we doing, mate? Yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Brighton away at Leeds United. So those are the previews for all 19 games, all 9 games, not involving, of course, Liverpool, who take on AFC Bournemouth this weekend at the 12:30 kickoff in that dreadful away kit. So we're going to be dedicating the rest of our show to this one. Let's just start off with a little bit of a preview. So AFC Bournemouth are bottom of the Premier League, and it's weird because genuinely I think they've overachieved this season. I think everyone walked into this season with them under Scott Parker thinking they are going to be dreadful, and I think they've overachieved. They absolutely well and truly got battered at Anfield last time. But since then, they were actually, they had a really good run of form. They still did well under Gary O'Neill, and they actually haven't played badly in the games that they've even lost this season. Who'd have thought? Not even the most stringent, the most passionate, the most loving of Bournemouth fans would have said they'd gone 2-0 up at the Emirates. And they were unlucky. Let's not get it wrong. Like, they were unlucky last time, but after this game against Liverpool, they've got some real crucial fixtures. Away at Villa, home to Fulham, home to Brighton, away to Leicester, away to Spurs, and then home to West Ham, away to Southampton, and home to Leeds. Those 3 games are going to be absolutely monumental for Bournemouth, but this one is just as monumental as well. Bournemouth are an intriguing outfit, let's just say this, but they have got players who have got ability to cause any team quality. You've got a player like Dominic Solanke, who scored a lot of goals in the Championship and works extremely hard. Jadon Anthony is a top quality player. You've got the new signings, Ilyas Zibani, who's arrived from Dynamo Kiev. He's a great centre half. Philip Billing also provides great goal scoring ability from midfield. There's a lot of talent in that Bournemouth team. Despite the fact they are bottom of the league. I know they're bottom of the league, Aaron, but I still think they've overachieved this season considering where they are as a club and in general. They have been obviously taken over this season, but I don't know. They literally employ Kiefer Moore. Like, I love Kiefer Moore, but come on. They employ Kiefer Moore in the Premier League. Antoine Semenyo, of course, they brought in. Vinya. David Brooks is now back, of course. Ouattara came in. Zabani came in. They got some really good players, but some absolutely awful players, you know. But anyway, I'm going to go through my team for Liverpool this evening now. Not this evening, tomorrow, in about 12, 14, 15 hours time. So in goal, of course, Alisson Becker, there's no debate on that. Alexander Arnold at right back, there's no debate on that, realistically. At centre-back, Konate and Van Dijk. Again, there's no debate on that. At left back, there is a slight debate because Tsimikas looked good against Wolves, but Andy Robertson was exceptional. He was absolutely exceptional against Manchester United. So I think it will be Andrew Robertson at left back. In midfield, the midfield three, I'd love to see Stefan Bajcetic back in midfield, but I don't think you can. I think I'm going to say Fabinho, Bajcetic, and Elliott. That'll be my midfield three, having the two young players in there. I think they need to play as much as they can, especially Bajcetic going towards the end of this season. Elliott's also got into some great form. And, of course, he scored a really great for his first Premier League goal against AFC Bournemouth last time out. That would be my midfield three. Although you could make a genuine argument for anyone. You could make an argument for Henderson, but I just don't think it would be my choice. I think you've got to go out with the fearless youngsters on that 12:30. You could also make an argument for Milner, to be honest, but I think Jurgen should go for those two young players. And then up front, I'm going to go with... It's hard because I think we should give Jota some minutes, but you can't really change that front three at the moment. Gakpo, I just love him. I love him. I love Cody Gakpo so much. He's so good. And I just can't see him changing him. Whereas, will he then play Jota off the left in Nunez's role, who's again playing exceptionally well? Hello, Jen. How are we? 7. Diogo Jota, I think, needs to play. So I'm going to put him in for Darwin Nunez. I'm going to go for Gakpo, Nunez, and Gakpo, Jota, and Salah with Nunez off the bench. I love Darwin Nunez, but I do really want Diogo Jota to get some fitness and form back. The more he plays, the more likely that will happen. So I will go with Diogo Jota on the left-hand side. That's my team, and I think that'll be good. That is very similar, but I have gone with Jota ahead of Nunez. That's my team. I just think we need to get Jota back fit. We just need to get Jota back fit. And the best way we're going to do that is by playing him. And against Bournemouth, like, realistically, if we needed to, we can get him off after 60 minutes. But I'm going to go with Jota on the left. It's either dropping Gakpo or Darwin, and I'm dropping Darwin at the moment. I'd get Carvalho off the bench, yeah, but it's been a really frustrating little period for him, to be honest. That's my thoughts anyway. I'm gonna go for Jota. I'm going with that. I'd love to see Carvalho get some minutes. I just don't know what's happening. A front four would be fun. A front four would be very fun, to be honest. With a pivot of Bajcetic and Fabinho. You can't drop Salah. But you can't drop Nunez and you can't drop Gakpo. Maybe you play all four. I reckon Gakpo can play like behind the striker. Oh, I don't know what to do. This is a great place. This is a great place to be. Yeah, but Jota's incredible, lads. People forgetting how good he is. He just needs to get fit again. He just needs to get fit, and that's a player there. That's your striker there. If he's fit. And I think we'll win. I do think we'll win. A lot of people are very, very nervous about the weekend. But then can you drop anyone from that United game? I don't think you can. I'm gonna say Nunez. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go unchanged apart from Bajcetic for Henderson. Bajcetic for Henderson is my only change. That's it. So yeah, I really want to get Jota in somehow, but I'm gonna say Bajcetic for Henderson the only change, and Jota coming off the bench after an hour. Diaz nearly back as well. Lads, we're so good. We're so good, lads. I'm not gonna lie, we're pretty good, aren't we? I'm gonna go 2-1 to Liverpool. By the way, I think it's gonna be really tight, but I think we'll win. I think they are going to be. They're going to be nearly there. They're nearly there. I think they will challenge us at that 12:30 kickoff. But I remember a 12:30 kickoff before when we beat them 4-0. So, but I also remember 12:30 kickoff when they beat us 4-3 and probably the greatest night of their Premier League history. So, absolutely no. I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool, and I'm going to go with Salah goal and a Salah brace. Salah brace. Aaron's commented, said, what will happen when Diaz is back if this front three is so good when he's fully ready? He comes off the bench. For me, I don't think you can just accommodate Diaz. I love Diaz. I really, really do. But I think he will end up turning into a right-sided player. And being a cover for all three positions, and maybe going in on the left to genuinely cover Darwizzy, or to get ahead of Darwizzy. To be honest, I think you can't drop Gakpo. Which it's just such a difficult situation to be in. Simon said 3-1 to Liverpool. Same team, says Simon. So Simon Cohen. Mate, it's so hard. This isn't fair. This is good problems to have, lads. This is great problems to have. The best problems to have are these ones. Are ones where you just can't decide. So we definitely don't need another right winger. I think Diaz will be the cover on the right. And you want Doak to be in the squad tomorrow. Coming on if we need some goals, maybe. But to be honest, I'm happy to play for him to be playing in the youth teams. We don't need another forward, lads. We've got so many forwards. Don't forget, you can stick Darwizzy out there if it needs be, or Diaz, or Jota, or Salah. You can. I know they're not. I put Diaz on the right, lads. We can't afford another. We've got to focus on anywhere else. Got to focus on everywhere else. Diaz can play well on the right, lads. He's both-footed. End of the day. Luis Diaz. Oh, Luis Diaz. I think Diaz can be a backup right wing, 100%. Diaz and Nunez can play on the right. And Jota can. I know they're not stereotypical right wingers, but and also Salah just doesn't get. Salah just doesn't get injured either. I hope I haven't jinxed that, but Salah just doesn't get injured, does he? He just never gets injured. Good afternoon, Israel Alcantara. New subscriber from Brazil. Oh, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Get another left wing in the summer. I hope not, living the dream. Not another one. You're joking. Jota's not... Yeah, but at the end of the day, Salah's never getting injured, lads. I'm telling you. Oh, let's not even go to Jude. But don't win, and the weekend's a wreckage. Result to drink. I'm not going to do that, you know. I'm not going to drink this weekend. I'm trying to drink less now. My little treat comes in the form of like chocolate or sweets these days. I don't drink. But thank you very much for subscribing, Israel. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button in the chat. Just subscribe. Keep subscribing, please. I'm trying to get to 1.1k. Thank you, Bol. Thank you. So we'll run through my Premier League predictions, and if you guys haven't already said your predictions in the chat, I want to see your full predictions. So I've gone with Bournemouth 1, Liverpool 2, Leeds United 0, Brighton 2, Everton 0, Brentford 2, Leicester 1, Chelsea 1, Tottenham 1, Nottingham Forest 0, Crystal Palace 0, Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0, 5, Southampton 0, West Ham 1, Aston Villa 2, Fulham 0, Arsenal 2, and Newcastle 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. That will be my predictions. And now we'll spend the rest of these 15 minutes having questions from the chat. Anything, any club, anywhere. We'll talk all about it. Talking all about it, my ladies and gents. Talking all about anything you want to at all. Whether it be Liverpool, whether it be anything else in the Premier League. We have 15 minutes left of the show, so it's going to be put across to you. Any news stories, anything that you guys would like to discuss. We are here on the Stonadge channel to discuss it. Happy days. It's been a great stream, lads. I've really enjoyed this. I'm going to do this every week. Football Manager, let me remind you, a little bit of self-promo. Football Manager Save starts tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you subscribe for that. Chris Stonadge takes over a professional football club. So make sure you subscribe. Do everything, like the video, everything like that. Just stay tuned with the FM Save as Chris Stonadge is going to take a certain football club up the vibe. Thank you, Bol. Appreciate that. You're a babe as well, my man. You absolutely are. Let's go into a little bit more of the newsness. So, Firmino. Let's talk Firmino, and obviously him leaving the club. It's done, all right, but he's come out and confirmed it. Jurgen's come out and confirmed it. Bobby's off, which is a shame. We're all going to miss Bobby Firmino. He's a lovable footballer, and we'll all wish him the absolute best of luck in the future. But Firmino now has got a decision to make. Where will Roberto Firmino go? I'm in favour, personally, of him going to Spain. Genuinely, I think he's going to Spain, to one of A, Atletico Madrid, or B, Barcelona. That's my opinion, and I think that game in Spain will suit him. He could also go to somewhere in Italy as well. I think he'd play well there, and also back in Germany. Of course, he had a great spell in Germany with Hoffenheim previously. So where do you guys think Bobby Firmino is going to go? And I've seen some of your comments, so I'm gonna go back to those in a minute. But where do you think Bobby Firmino will go at the end of the season? Inter Milan's is camping with Como. Spain, Italy, or Germany. That's a very, very wide thing. Inter Milan. I think I like that. Do I like that? I hope so. I think I do. I just go and enjoy yourself, Bobby lad. You'll always be a Liverpool legend. Anyway, can you really not see us having a chance against Madrid? Asks David. No, I can't. And that's not me being a big pessimistic merchant, which I have become recently, actually. I think there's a definite L on our way over the two legs. I think we might win the game. Like, we might genuinely win the game. I just don't think we're gonna go through in the final into the quarterfinals, and because we're 5-2 down and it's the Bernabeu, lads. I understand that 7-0 was great. But we're gonna have to have that and more, and more. It's gonna be crazy. So there's no chance that we're ever going to get past Real Madrid. I think it'll be Curtis Jones, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and the boys, or it should be, but it won't be. But if we do win 4-0, then please cyberbully me. I bring on all the cyberbullies. Please cyberbully me if we go through. Hey, Hannah, how are we doing? Good to see you in the chat, as always. 3-0 to Liverpool in the Champions League, Darren, or in the Bournemouth game? How many players do you reckon will leave in the summer? Well, let's have a count, shall we? So I'm going to go with Kelleher. Hey, Dave, how are we doing? So I'm going to go with Kelleher. I'm going to say Kelleher, Nat Phillips, Matip. Kelleher, Nat Phillips, Matip. Firmino, obviously. Oxlade-Chamberlain, obviously. Keita, obviously. That's 6. Maybe Milner. Milner will leave, probably. Artur, obviously. That's 8. That's about it, I think. I think that's it, right? And I've said Firmino, so 8 players. Definitely a shame that the great Roberto Firmino will be leaving Liverpool, but has been a great servant to us and the Liverpool club. Absolutely, Simon, I agree. Same when Drew comes, I'm going to have a word with you. Please do, Bob. I will want to be, please cyberbully me. I will want it. I want that. Expect disappointment, you won't be disappointed, says Hannah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't always do so, but like I just don't care about that game. I care so much more about the Bournemouth game than I do that Real Madrid game. It's huge to beat Bournemouth on the weekend. It's absolutely mammoth. And if we do, we start the weekend well and we go into 4th, which psychologically is absolutely massive. Like, we might not stay there even for the rest of the weekend or even for the rest of the day, but lads, it would be so big psychologically to see Liverpool in 4th place tomorrow. After the season we've had, seriously, if we seriously get into 4th place tomorrow, like, mate, I'm happy. That's huge. Jones has to go. No, he doesn't. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Far too a talented player to let go. And he's just signed a 5-year contract and he's homegrown. Liverpool go 4th. Yeah, we go 4th. And that psychologically is so big. How big, how massive is that? Dybala has a clause that lets him leave Roma for 20 million, so maybe they want Bobby. Dybala, it's a shame, lad. It's a shame about him because he could have been an absolute world beater. Jones does not have to go. He doesn't have to go. He's far too good a footballer, lads. When given a run of games, and he's just a great option off the bench. Like, he's got physicality, he's versatile. Like, I don't get the hate, man. He's had a few shit games, but Christ almighty. Like, he was very, very good in COVID season, very good last season in the opportunities he was given. But this season, he hasn't been given the chances. I'm very much a Jones in merchant. And as a great squad player. We can't sell Curtis Jones because we're already letting go of Artur, Milner, who else is going? Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain. 4 midfielders leaving. Maybe Milner. As I said, so that's 4. That's 4 midfielders already going. If you let Jones go, that's 5. Like, seriously, lads, we need more than just midfielders in the summer. Okay, so looking at Liverpool's midfield, you've got, next season for me, you've got Thiago, you've got Henderson, you've got potentially Milner, but I don't think he'll there. So Thiago and Henderson, Fabinho, that's the 3 senior midfielders. You've then got Jones, Elliott, Bajcetic, and Morton. That's your 4 younger midfielders. And Carvalho, if you count him. I'd send him on loan. I would send Carvalho on loan because I think he's got more potential than Jones. But I think he needs to just go out and play. Carvalho there. And then that's your midfield. So you've got 5 sort of younger players. And then you sign 2 new players to bring them in. And that's it. And there's your midfield options. It's there. That's sorted. Absolutely, Simon. I agree, my friend. If we get 4th this season, then lads, I'm in. I'm involved. And at the end of the day, we can't sell everybody because we'll be in the position that we've been in not having enough players. Connor Bradley too. Yeah, he'll obviously be covering it right back, I think. He'll come in, and I think Ramsey will go out on loan if he stays fit. Maybe back up to Scotland for a bit. Yeah, but Robbie, if you think about it, think about the amount of wages that are getting lifted off our contracts, and also look at Robbie, look at Swiss Ramble's thread about it as well. Winning 7-0 v United or winning the Carabao Cup. Winning the Carabao Cup every time. Yes, the 7-0 was amazing, but it's 3 points at the end of the day. I'd absolutely prefer a trophy. Even if it's the Carabao Cup. Carabao Cup 100%. I would sign... that would be absolutely ideal if we could get Jude, Antonio Silva and Mateus Nunes. But yeah, no, absolutely not. Yes, the 7-0 was great, but the Carabao Cup for me, every day of the week. A trophy, the belittling of the cup competitions is actually mad. Like, genuinely serious, like, genuinely mad. Like, that day last season when we won the Carabao Cup, it was massive for me. I loved every single second of it, being at that game, the atmosphere. Like, it felt so big. And yes, it's not that big when you go out of it. But, like, lads, it was amazing. I enjoyed it. It was brilliant. A day out of Wembley, you know? I'd give anything to have that day again, you know? And yes, the United game I was literally on 7th heaven. But Carabao Cups are still trophies, lads. And trophies for me are much more important than 3 points. We weren't really on course for, it wasn't that big a thing, at that point, Hannah, to be fair. It was so big, and it was an enjoyable occasion. The atmosphere was amazing. It always has been in the cup games, and I love to see players get opportunities as well. It might just be a me thing, but I love the cup games. I love the cups, and I hope we go well and do well in them. And that's why I was so happy about it last season, because we were amazing. The Premier League and CL for Carabao. What? Obviously, I'd rather the Premier League and the Champions League, but I'd rather a trophy than win a single game and get 3 points. Like, I would genuinely, in a season, if we were to finish 4th every year and win a cup, I'd be happy. And that people might say, oh, that's terrible mentality. You want to win all of them. It's just not normal. It's just not normal, you know? But yeah, it was a great result on Sunday. It was the best feeling, one of the best feelings I've had in my life. Like, it was amazing, but I would never swap it for a trophy, ever. When am I next at Anfield? The Arsenal game, I believe. The Arsenal game. I'm going up to to Liverpool Arsenal. But I'll try and get some vlog out of it. But to be fair, I don't really like vlogging at Liverpool games, purely because I just like to be in the moment of those. I think there's no real regard. There's no, for me, I prefer just being in the moment and watching the game. Obviously, the Real Madrid game was massively different. But yeah, a lot of people have asked, like, oh, are you going to vlog the Liverpool games? Like, nah, I just enjoy being there. At what point was I thinking we should go for the juggler against United? As soon as we scored the 3rd goal in the second half, when Gakpo scored that 3rd goal. When Gakpo scored that 3rd goal, it was amazing. That was it. Chris Wenger reincarnated 4th / FA Cup. Well, listen, lads, I'll take it. And then challenging the Premier League and the Champions League every time. Like, that's fine. Just challenge, lads. Because realistically, if you think about it, Liverpool have been a club for 130 years. And they've only won the league 19 times. Right? So, 19 times out of 130. What's that? That's once every, 8 or 9 years? Is it? That we've won the league, technically. So it's going to come once in a while, you know. A GoPro cam strap on body. I can't do that, mate, because I probably wouldn't get let in. But how much I'd like to, I partly just really like. I really like just being in the moment. So that's my choice anyway. But anyway, we're going to leave this stream there. Thank you so much for all of the for the great stream we've had today. It's been absolutely fantastic. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff. I will be back tomorrow, of course, with that FM video, so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. I've been Chris Stonadge, and this is the Stonadge channel. Subscribe. Bye-bye.